You're listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner.
Hey guys, it's Zoom the TBT, and we have one of the new teams this season, which I'm really excited to have as one of our guests right before the start. We have the Sikh Warriors going out of Charleston, West Virginia. Jasjit Singh, he is the GM, and Vick, the point guard. Gentlemen, how you doing tonight?
Good. How you doing?
Amazing. Really excited. I mean, we're taping this on a Wednesday. We'll probably release it next week, right before the tournament. We're only about a week and a couple days out. You guys touched the court in 9 days, which is really exciting. That's going to be a really fun redraw in beautiful Charleston, West Virginia. So, Jasjit, help me out a little bit. First of all, what is the significance of having a Sikh team? Like, what does this, first, how did this come together, and what does this represent to your basketball community?
Man, so much, right? I'm trying not to put 500 years of history into a 18-minute podcast, right? But I will make it quick and simply say
we can go 22 minutes. Go ahead. We can go
long. The Sikh community is just the Sikh faith is the fifth largest organized religion in the world, but even then, largely misunderstood, given our physical structure, the fact that we wear turbans, grow out our beards, carry ourselves every day openly and clearly. We have an opportunity here to showcase to our current generation or next generation that they can look how they look and still be a part of the basketball dream, still have those dreams of making it to the league or playing your heart out at any professional level or even at that novice level, giving kids the opportunity to play at high school, college, and beyond, which is what we're seeing with these guys. It's significant because as a minority within a minority, we are the entire team is made up of folks who are Punjabi Sikh. Punjab is a region within South Asia that encompasses Pakistan and India now, and the Sikh community is a minority within that minority. And yet we are giants amongst the South Asian space when it comes to how we show up in our spaces. We tend to be bigger, larger, and we want to make sure our kids see that, and we show up into these spaces to make sure that we make some noise and get a W. So we're excited to be here and put on for our community, for our faith, and for our culture.
Yeah, it's exciting because it's interesting because we were talking, we always do a little bit of a warm up before we start taping to make sure we're on the same page, make sure we hit points. And something you said in that warm up which struck me is like when you guys were discussing getting this team together with the home office at TBT, there was a previous team, and it's still in this year, called the Brown Ballers, who are doing Syracuse, I believe. And it was like we actually, the South Asian community is 1.5 billion people. How is there only one basketball team for 1.5 billion people? And you think about it that way, it's a self-evident truth, a team is necessary. So like, how is the Sikh community's relationship with basketball evolving as it's in the last couple of decades? Like, how is it growing?
So I'll talk about like just generally like the importance of sports and physical fitness in our faith. We come from a community that focuses on the warrior spirit, right? But we're also the saintly spirit. So there's an example, it's called Midi Pidi in Sikhi. And that basically means that we're saint soldiers, right? Those of us who are initiated. Well, in order to be a soldier, you need to be physically fit, right? So that physical fitness includes a lot of emphasis by our ancestors on wrestling, athletics, other spaces. And I think that years and years and hundreds of years of like just focusing on that has led to the modern day of like, well, what sports do you like now, right? And we're living in the United States, and hey, there's no greater sport than basketball. I will argue that all day long, right? I don't care about football, baseball; those are cool sports, but nothing beats basketball. And
Nothing.
our community has just fallen in love with the sport. And I think I mentioned it when we were talking earlier, but this basketball space, like we've been holding these Punjabi slash South Asian basketball tournaments for the last 20, 25 years. We built out this organization called Punjabi Basketball Association out in California, and then Vick set up Seattle Sikh Hoops since he's in Washington. And now we have multiple organizations. Just what we're trying to do is find those all-stars. We have amazing basketball players who come to these tournaments who are already playing at a high level. And Sikh Warriors is saying, you know, you're cream of the crop. Why don't you hop on with this team for these larger spaces, for these larger tournaments? So this is exciting, man. We're 9 days is a couple of days away, but I feel like we can get up tomorrow morning and hoop. I think these guys are ready.
Yes.
Okay, I love it. Definitely ready. And also, Vic, he was your GM was talking about the whole warrior spirit thing. How does that embody itself on the court? Like, when you talk about a Sikh Warriors basketball team, what are the fans going to see how's that come out on the court?
Yeah, I mean, every time we get on the court, that's something we discuss like before, prior, whether it's a coach, player, leader. When we go out there, we play, no one plays selfish. You play for each other, teamwork. Everyone's on the same page. And you'll see that as we play. We've played in previous tournaments. We've done good in different pro-ams. We've done good against professional teams just last month. But yeah, once we're on the court, dive for a ball. Everyone has, I feel like we're all on the same page. In the last 2 months, we have a group chat going, and all the guys are locked in. Whether it's GMs, coaches, Gurjant leader, he's like a big GM. He couldn't make the call, but he's a big person behind this. That's gets a lot of stuff done, motivates us, and stuff like that. So
Definitely. I mean, it's nice to have these different teams, and it's always interesting because every year you get a few different teams. This is one I actually was
mhm.
interested in talking about because there is this history and there's this community, and people who've listened to the show at all know that actually talk about South Asian community, not a Sikh, but my partner's actually a Zoroastrian, so it's always an interesting. Who was
Yeah,
born in India, so it's always interesting to see the different parts of the South Asian community, of which I kind of I'm not part of, but I'm adjunct to it. So it's basically like something I have an interest in, obviously, mainly because otherwise my partner will kill me if we're not having interest in it. But
mhm,
it's happy life, happy wife, right? That's how that works. But enough
mhm.
about that. Let's talk a little bit about hoops. So,
Yeah.
your point guard Vick is saying he likes to share the ball. True or false? Is he a passer or is he just going to jack up shots? Like, let's just get to that part for a minute.
Yeah.
Hey, honestly, he can do both, but he is someone that amazingly finishes in the paint. As someone who's had to guard him, I'm not
Yeah.
sure how he gets
Mm.
around kids like me, but and when he's in there in that paint, it's pretty amazing. His finishing ability it's tough, man. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to talk shit, but I'm just saying like, good luck trying to block this guy when he comes into the paint.
Yeah.
Okay. I always like the 6'1" players to go through the trees. Go ahead, Vic.
Yeah. Pass first. So I mean, I'm not trying to. I'm an all-time assist leader at my college, so I definitely pass the ball first. But we got some scorers and dead eyes on our team that could shoot the ball and score. So definitely looking to play make a little more. But if I need to score, I can definitely score if needed.
Yeah, I'm looking at Fraser Valley University in BC. So
Yep.
what level of ball is that? I imagine it's in Canada. So is that what kind of
Yep.
what's that equivalent to in American? Is it like D1, D2?
Probably like mid-major D1 or
Okay.
D2. We would
Okay.
scrimmage against D2s, D1s in that
Okay.
league, but it's a top division in Canada. But there's probably a lot of guys that are playing in there from Toronto that are in the TBT as well. But
Hmm.
no, it's a good level. And we also play FIBA, so we
Okay.
play with the 24-second shot clock, no live ball timeouts. So we're a lot of us have played in that league, so we're used to the rules as well.
24 seconds is interesting because
Yeah.
it's funny because here she wants to also be part of the podcast. We're gonna put her
Yeah.
down. You don't get to be part of the podcast, you know. No, but it's funny because the 24-second shot clock, college and American ball is always 30 seconds, so the offenses are
Very
a little more
faster
deliberate.
pace. Yeah.
Yeah, so you gotta go. You definitely have to go.
Yep.
Which actually, so would you describe the style of play of Sikh Warriors as kind of up and down a bit, or is it more of a half court team?
Yeah, I would say like we definitely want to play at a faster pace because you're at 24. Once you cross half court, you're at 18. You get to do maybe 1, 2 actions, and then
Hmm.
you're counting the shot clock down. So you got to get into your stuff early, or else it's going to be a bad shot. So that's something we've been like having emphasis on to like get going early because we don't got much time, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Jesse, also talking about like the team competition because it's interesting because you guys do have a set team. A lot of the TBT teams come in and they're sort of thrown together for this event, but your team has a shared history of playing these tournaments. So while you're adding a few players to the team for the TBT experience, the core of your team, I believe, as we chatted, is part of a
Yeah.
larger team. So does that give you a bit of an advantage over some of your opponents that you already have that built-in chemistry?
I mean, given the starting, like this is our first year here, I think that's exactly the type of composition that was needed at this moment for our introductory year into TBT. We have guys that have played together for a really long time. These guys have been the scrimmaging that they've been doing against us pro teams, winning a couple of tournaments with some of the core guys has been great. But the fact that we've been playing at a high level and the whole team isn't even together is really what gets me excited about what's coming up. And there is I mean, speaking to like our Punjabi Sikh youth who are probably watching this, there is space for our kids in the future. That's what the idea of building out a training camp in the future after TBT, making sure that the training camp is open. And there's no spots guaranteed. You have to earn your spots.
Mhm.
I think that's going to open up a lot, especially after this first tournament, that we're going to start bringing in even more talent. But again, this is like right now of the options that we have, of the people that we have, this is the cream of the crop that we have, and that we really want to make sure they're highlighted.
Yeah, definitely. It's always interesting to talk about that too, because building out a community and building out a basketball community, because a lot of these things have a long tail. Because like even though you have that experience together and playing these high level tournaments, this is the first time playing this event. Now, obviously, some players in your team have experience. Vic's played in TBT before, obviously, a couple other teams. So, Vic, what are you telling your teammates who are TBT rookies that's different about this event? Like, do you have the whole Elam thing down? Are you explain, listen, this is how that works? Like, I mean, you
Yeah.
mentioned FIBA rules, so the goaltending stuff you guys already are used to. But like, for
hmm
example, is the Elam discussion coming up? Do some of these tournaments already have it? Like, how you educating your teammates on that?
So the most recent game we just played, they play Elam every game as well. So, and we've been playing in different tournaments for the past 2, 3 years now that have Elam. So we have like a lot of experience with it, but it's still different every time. Like it's hard to get used to. Even if you know it all, like when you're playing, it's kind of hard to adjust. But I mean, our coaches are on top of it too. So you get a timeout and you refresh, figure out the rules and stuff. But I kind of like it. I mean, it gives a chance to both teams. Whether you're up, you kind of play tight. If you're down, you're playing with your backs against the wall. It's a good concept. I enjoy it for sure.
So let's go ahead and let's quiz your GM, Vic. Let's quiz Jasjit. Okay, Jasjit, here we go.
Uh
Okay, so you have the ball. You're up seven. You're on a 5-0 run. No, let's call it a 6-0 run. You're up seven. You have the ball, and it's 3:54. Do you keep the run and going, or do you call a timeout to ice the score?
Ooh, hopefully Vic agrees with me, but we keep the run going.
Vic?
so say that one more time.
Okay, you're
I
up.
gotta
We said up seven,
up
6-0
7.
run. You've got the rock, and it's 3:54 on the clock. You call a timeout, or do you keep the run going?
Nah, we're on offense. I'm gonna try and score because
Yeah.
you can get a stop too. So yeah,
Yeah, correct answer. You keep the
yeah,
pressure up. You make them call the timeout. You
yeah,
make them
yeah.
do it. I completely agree. Like
hmm
when you're especially if you're on the run. Now if you're up seven and you're giving up, you're eating a run, then you just call a timeout. Like we gotta stop this.
Yeah.
So it always depends on who's got
Uh-huh.
the momentum. If you have the
Yep.
momentum, you keep going.
Yeah.
That's always
Momentum
my
big.
theory. And
Uh-huh.
you got to
Yeah.
just extend that lead as much as you can because it can't get any
Yeah.
longer after that point. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
interesting. We've seen some really crazy comebacks, especially in
hmm
Charleston. We've seen some crazy comebacks in Charleston. In fact, Team
mm
23 got through there a few years ago, and they had to come back a couple times. That's a pretty interesting run.
Yeah. We
Okay,
we
yeah,
played in a recent tournament in Canada, and we were down 17 to start Elam, and we came back and won. We have
damn.
that on footage too. So it was actually pretty crazy. It was in a championship game as well of a tournament. So it was an intense game.
That
I
is
watched that,
nuts.
I watched that live on Instagram.
Yeah, you probably a lot of people watched that. It was nuts.
Yeah. So anyway, it's pretty crazy. So one thing that we've talked about a little bit in this podcast this year is TBT. This is their I think either 11th or 12th year. I think it's their 12th year, and this is our 6th year of having a podcast. We've been fans of it since the second year. My partner Charge, he does very few of these at this point, but he's been a fan since year one. Actually, we've both been following it forever, and it's the composition of the teams has changed a bit. And one thing that's evolved is the cost of entry has gone up. It went from 0 to 10 to 15. So one thing it's always been a struggle for teams to get funded is there are costs of getting people there. Hotels cost money, flights cost money. Charleston is an expensive airport. It has like one or two gates. It's one of the most expensive airports we've ever seen. So we like to give love to the sponsors. So Hugh and the
Yeah.
community, Vic, has been really helping your team out. Like, can we give them some love about showing you the love to get you there in the first place?
Yeah. So I mean, we've gotten a really overwhelming amount of support from our community since we kind of launched. But obviously, you have your 4 to 5 main sponsors, the ones who are on the jersey and who's kind of been helping with other stuff too, right? And there's, but two of the main ones, I'll go over two of them, and then Jasjit, you can do the other two. One of them's Sumner Truck Stop. His name is
Mhm.
Mana Gill, and he's going to be on the shorts. He's been a big supporter since we started. He is probably going to come as well too, so that would be great. And then another one we have is Upper Empire, who
Mhm.
has a shoe company that has been hooking the whole team up with shoes all year round, and he's has pitched in to help with different costs of hotels and food for the players and everything. So those are just some of a few that have majorly helped out. And we also have like physio people that are coming just to help out, right? And they're not asking for nothing, so they're volunteering. And their company name is Motion Lab. So those are like the main, and then Jasjit will go over the other two, I believe.
For
Yeah.
sure. No, Vic's got it right. We have so much support, man. The people, like we said earlier, the name resonates, the communities behind us, right? It didn't take a lot for people to get excited about what we're doing. We have Jikara Movement, which is the largest Sikh youth nonprofit in the United States, actually in North America, which is a huge sponsor for us. And like I talked about Punjabi Basketball Association earlier, it's kind of a wing of Jakarta movement that'll be on the jersey. And then one of my really good friends, Deepak Ahluwalia, of Singh Ahluwalia Law Firms, attorneys at law, he's on there as well. Um, and then also, I think we should mention, Vic, just the fact that we have so many people who are just giving us 50, 100, 250,
Yeah.
500. We're going to
Yes.
see how many we can get on a shooting jersey or something, and give a
Yeah.
shout out to the community. But the fact that this many people have shown up for us and we haven't even stepped on the court yet, I'm telling you, if we can just we get these wins underneath us, just imagine what next year is going to look like when the
Yeah.
people know about us.
Well,
No.
well, let's not skip ahead to next year. Let's stay on this year because let's talk about this bracket. So we talked about the culture, we've talked about the team, talked about the fun stuff. Let's just get to the guts of this. This bracket is a mess. Now you got one of the three bye regions, which is we're not going to talk about that, but we got one of the three bye regions, and they gave the one seed Elite Nation, which was Takeover BC last year. Got Desi Washington, they were a great squad, so that's a really good squad. And you get one of the co-hosts. You get Heard That. You get Marshall. They're coming off a deep run every year. They've at least won 1 or 2 games. 2 years ago, they made the national semis. They're bringing back John Elmore. They're bringing back Jacory. They've got some guns. They've got Fletcher McGee on the wing. They've got shooting, even though I don't think I'm talking out of turn. I can tell you this. I don't think John will be there for your game because he'll be at Summer League. So maybe you dodge one player there. I don't think John's going to make your game.
Yeah.
So, which you guys probably are aware, he's on the King Summer League team.
Yeah.
So, first of all, that's a crazy matchup. Have you started breaking down tape, breaking down the matchups at all?
Yeah. We coaches have done a good job of that. Some of the guys already know some of the players. And I think we got a good idea. We have some size to counter theirs as well. We got good guard play. We got good coaches. Obviously, they're the home team. They've been in it for a while. Refs are gonna know them, and no one's gonna know us, which we already know going in. It's gonna be tough environment to play in, but we feel confident. We match up, just as well, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if the refs love them anyway. I remember I was at the semifinal because I'm very friendly with their GM Ott, really great guy, and Ott was the coach
Uh-huh.
that year, and
Yeah.
he got teched up a couple times in
Okay.
Philly
Well,
so I don't know if the refs are going to be your problem. We talked about the crowd competition too because Bird is one of the co-hosts, but the primary host is West Virginia alums. And having
yeah.
been to Charleston before, again, a beautiful city, when you go to Charleston, the fan base is actually 70-30 or 65-35. So you'll probably have the
Okay.
crowd for your
Sure.
game because they're going to
Yeah.
want to knock out Marshall. So you're going to
Yeah.
have just a very split crowd. So you guys actually might have the crowd behind you, which would be interesting.
Mm. And then
So, yeah.
West Virginia plays after us.
I don't remember. So you're the 6 o'clock. They're the 8 o'clock. They played Du Bois
Sure.
Dream, which is a pretty solid team. They actually that's a rematch of 2 years ago. West Virginia Du Bois played in what was it, the regional of West Virginia that was near Pittsburgh. I forgot the name. The Wheeling regional 2 years
Okay.
ago. And that was actually much closer Like the Weathers brothers went insane. They went ham in that game. They almost put them out real early.
Yeah.
That's the year Hurd made Philly. Okay, so what does a successful run look like? Like Vic, I'll let you answer the second part. Jesse, what's a good run as a floor? What's the floor of a successful run this year? We'll ask you the ceiling, Vic.
Man,
Yeah.
I mean, to give the kind answer, the fact that we're here is for me is a big deal. I just mentioned the sponsors and the folks that are really pulling up for us. I think it's a big deal that we're showing up, but I also know that Cinderella stories, I don't think we need to call ourselves a Cinderella story. These guys are more than capable of pulling off W's when we need them. I feel like we can win a couple of games. I would be happy if we pull off this first game and build from there. So that would be successful for me. Ooh, we lost
Okay,
Vic. So what is
we
the
lost.
ceiling? Ooh,
Yeah,
ceiling is
Vic.
winning the damn championship, man. That's the
Okay,
ceiling.
fair
Unless
enough.
Vic comes back and says something else. Um, uh,
Modern technology for the win as
right.
usual.
Now,
Yeah.
now he doesn't know what type
Oh,
of
he's
pressure
coming back
on
in.
the
He's
team
coming back
without
in.
actually. Oh,
Well,
he's back.
just no, he's coming back in. What's really funny is he comes back in. We'll wait because the thing that I always tell people, and we'll get to you in a minute, Vic. But it's funny because what ends up happening with this is I try really hard not to have what just happened happen, because when you do the editing for the graphics,
Dang.
I have to cut. No, don't worry about those matter. But now we've done it. I don't care what happens now because I have to edit it anyway. So you leave when you want. Now once you're damaged a little, you're damaged a lot. Okay, Vic, back to you though. I'm lazy. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
So Vic, real quick.
Yeah.
What we talked, Jazzy had a great answer about what the floor is. So what's the ceiling of this run? What is the Sikh Warriors ceiling in TBT 2025?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to win it all, right? But we know every game's going to be tough. I think winning the first weekend would be something great. Going, obviously the first game's tough. We're playing a home team, a team that's been in it for many years, but they're beatable. Every team's beatable. It's one game. We feel confident. So something that we would feel great about, I think, is winning the first two, right?
Okay, that makes sense. That actually makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
so I've wasted enough of you guys' time. You have a game in 9 days. You gotta get prepped. So Jazzy, give me your closing thoughts. Like, why should a neutral fan root for the Sikh Warriors?
Man, simple. It's all about rooting for someone that you can see yourself in, right? I think we as a group of guys, as a community, as folks, have been, I'd say, misunderstood, underrepresented, and not thoroughly seen, even though we're as visible as we are. As visible people, we're invisible to a lot of folks. I think this is an opportunity, especially given where we are at as a country, for folks to stand with a group of guys that stand for everyone. To be honest, I think that's where we're at. I think give us a chance, ride with us, go on this run with us, and help us reach the ceiling that we're capable of reaching.
Yeah, where we are as a country, we're gonna leave that thought untouched for this podcast. We'll do that off camera. Vic, last thoughts before I let you guys go into the night.
Yeah, perfect. I think we're ready to go, ready to hoop. But we want to give a shout out to our other two GMs who couldn't make it, Sonny Gill and Gurjan Litter. They're super hyped about everything. They'll be there as well. So I just wanted to mention them. They've done a lot of work, and we're ready to hoop.
Love it. Ready to hoop, ready to shock the world, which actually, if you look at this roster, wouldn't be that much of a shock. GM
Yeah.
Jasjit Singh, point guard Victor, the Sikh Warriors. Can't wait to watch you guys in Charleston. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hater. Subscribe to YouTube, follow on Twitter, and give us your money.